Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Guru Deva, 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 Jaya Guru Deva. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय, जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्णा माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mata ji.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna to everyone. How are you all?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Got it.
Everybody is good?
Krishna Mataji, he is fine.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'm fine. Hare Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So thank you all for joining Bhagavad Gita session. Is there any question from your side from chapter 1 to 3? Let us first ask you all if you have any question, anything you want to understand, any concept, any philosophy from this section, first to 3 chapter. No? Everything is understood?
Trying. Trying.
Yes, we are all trying only.
Yeah.
No, but sometimes while we are learning, we have some questions in the mind that, oh, what was this? I could not understand. I'm just trying to understand. If there is anything like that, then we'll start from there. Because we are going to start the new chapter today.
Yeah.
So there should not be any confusion about anything. Yes, Hare Krishna, Himangi. Okay. It is, Lata will do the recording. Okay, so we'll start. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnanashrakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutpadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam tam sajeev sadvaitam savadhutam parijana sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamshacha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांता स्वामिन् इति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam, pangum langayate girim, yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam, Paramananda Madhavam, Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hari Om Tat Sat. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swaminiti Namine Namaste Namacharya Padaya Nitaya Kripa Pradayani Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagar Gramatarine. Hare Krishna. So we are going to start chapter 4. So as some of you wanted the quick revision, so we'll try to do quick revision for chapter 1, 2 and 3. Let's see what all we remember from 1 to 3 chapter. So in chapter 1, we saw that Dhritarashtra inquired to Sanjay. What was the inquiry? That what are the my son and the sons of Pandu when they have assembled in the battlefield, what did they do? And by asking this question, Dhritarashtra was showing his insecurity, that he was fearful, he was hopeful, he was fearful that my children will lose it, but he was hopeful maybe the place will have the effect and Pandavas will leave the battle, they will not fight. So he had a mixed reaction. So in that he asked Arjuna, Sanjay, what did they do? And then we saw that how Duryodhan was also in fear and he is being very diplomatic. He went to his guru, Dronacharya, and he started telling that you made a mistake by giving this your knowledge to the Drishtadyumna. Now he is standing before you to fight. And then he thought, let me give, he described his army, he described what to call Yudhishthir's army. And he said, my army is better, because he wanted to encourage his people, because he was also fearful of losing. So he just wanted to boost the morale that my army is more protected under the guidance of Bhishma Pitama, but they are not well protected under the guidance of Bhima. And like that, he encouraged, I have so many yodhas, those who are ready to give up their life for me. So we are all protected. And then after description of the army, both the parties, they started blowing their conch shell and battle was going to begin. And after blowing the conch shell, Arjuna asked Krishna, take my chariot in between both the side, and I want to see whom I'm going to fight with. And at that time, when he saw Arjuna, when he saw the army, when he saw the people and he saw all his family members are there standing before him, and he became very disturbed and he started giving reason for not fighting. So what are the reason he gave? Arjuna gave the reason, compassion for the friends and relative. And Krishna will address all this. Then no enjoyment. Even if I become victorious, how will I enjoy? Because you enjoy it, you want to enjoy your happiness with the people. So when nobody will be alive after the battle, everybody will die, whom I'm going to enjoy with. And then he had a fear for sinful reaction. This battle is going to be there. So many people are going to be killed. There are so many innocent people are going to be killed. Those who had no relation with the battle. So how all these people, I'm going to get the reaction. And then he said, destruction of the family tradition, because when the elders of the family all will die, nobody will be there to protect the tradition of the family. And if they are not protected properly by the elders, this thing, a woman will be exploited, and there will be Varna Sankara, the children, those who will born with the exploitation of the woman, they will not nice. And Arjuna, being very responsible, he thought, I will be the cause of all these things. And then he continued his indecision in I don't know whether I should fight or I should give up, because, and he said, and then the second chapter, So these are some of the shlokas we saw where he says that, Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel my limbs of the body quivering and my mouth drying up. And then he says, I don't see any good. So these were his reasons for not fighting. I don't see how any good can come from killing my own kinsman in this battle. Nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory. Nacha rajyam sukhani cha. Na kangshe vijayam Krishna. I don't need any victory, vijaya. Nacha rajyam sukhani. Neither I want to be the king or want any kingdom or any kind of act. Why? Nacha shreya anupashyami hatva swajanama. Hatva means by killing our own people, killing our own family. How am I going to enjoy? I don't see any good in this. So neither I want that kind of victory, nor I want any kind of happiness. And then he says, Papa meva shreya dasman hatvatan atataina. Tasman naraha vayam hantum dhat rashtan sabandhavan swajanma hi katham hatva. Sukhina shyama madhava. Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill ones of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, the husband of the goddess of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? Rather, we will incur sin. Papam eva shreyad asman. Hatva tyan atatahina. Here it word is atatahina. Atatahi is, the Prabhupada explains, there are 6 kinds of aggressors. They should be killed. The one who burns the other's house, one who exploit others' wife, one who exploit the wife of a Brahmana, and he takes away the property of others. So like that 6 type of aggressors are there, one who gives poison to others. So, and Duryodhana had done all these things. He had given them the poison. He gave the poisonous cake to Bhima. He had burned, he sent them in a vacation, and then he tried to burn the house. And he had disrobed the Draupadi. So Duryodhana was actually categorized as an aggressor who has done all these things. And those aggressors should be killed. But even though Arjuna was very kind and said, I don't want. And then he says, while the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. When there is no religion, like now, right now also we are seeing the same thing. People do not know religion. People think religion means just going to the temple and asking for the bread and butter. I have my Kuldevi, I have my Kuldevta, I have my family tradition, and all this thing is only to follow for some material benefit. So that is what people know. The religion means the dharma, religion means the shastra, religion means the knowledge, everything. So since the absence of religion, people are just doing whatever they want. They are just going insane. They do not know what is right, what is wrong, because they are not practicing any kind of religion. They do not even know any kind of religion. So that is the reason they think they don't have any idea if I'm doing bad, what is going to happen to me? What is prescribed in the scripture as a dharma? What should we do? What we should not do? People are not aware of these things. And then that is the reason so much irreligious activities are happening. So this is what Arjuna's worry was, being very responsible. So that is how the chapter 1 was ended. Then the second chapter, Arjuna again was indecisive. And that indecisive state, he accepted Krishna as a guru. So that is the first learning here for us, is that when we are indecisive, we should approach to a person who is superior to us, not the person who is our friend. Because our friend cannot give us the correct advice. We have to go to a superior personality. Whenever there is any kind of confusion in the mind, we do not understand what I should do in this situation, right and wrong. What should be our approach? Our approach should be to approach a superior. We should go and approach the superior, because superior will be able to guide us in the right path. So that is what Arjuna did. He accepted Krishna as a guru, and now the relation between the two friends has changed into the guru and disciple. So Krishna became the teacher, and now Krishna started answering. Second thing also we are seeing here, that till now Krishna was quiet. Arjuna was kept on talking. And Krishna was just smiling. And then the first thing he says, it looks like you are talking like a very intelligent person, but I consider you as a fool, because you do not even know what is the difference between the body and soul and who you are. And that he gave the knowledge of analysis of body and soul. Arjuna's fear was on the platform of body. Krishna took into the another level of giving, you are not even body, why you are bothered so much about the bodily concept or bodily things? You are not the body, and body is anyway going to change. And then Krishna gave in detail about the 20 shloka. He spoke about the soul, and he says how the soul is eternal, body is temporary, how much you protect the body, but body is not going to be protected by you. It is going to be like a vasam sijirnani yatha vihaya. As we discard the old and rejected clothes and torn clothes. This similarly, when the body become old, we discard it and we get a new one. So various shlokas he spoke about he gave him the knowledge. So the second understanding is sometimes the problem is something else and we are trying to solve in some other way. That is the major problem with us. We do not actually know the root cause of the problem. What is the root cause of my problem? So we try to solve externally the problem. Like a person, a girl goes to a doctor and she says, I get rashes on and off of on my face. So and whenever she used to visit any dermatologist, they will give some cream to apply, some kind of medicine they will give, and they will think, and for some time it will be cured, and then again it will be coming back. So she was getting so much like every time it is, some days it will be fine, and again the next time it will come. So then she went to a very reputed doctor, and he did all the blood check and everything, and he says there is impurity in your blood, and that is why all these eruptions are there. So I have to clean the blood. So now the external treatment of the face was not helping that girl, even though she was trying, because problem was not on the skin, problem was there in the blood. So Arjuna was thinking the problem is related to the body. Krishna said, no, body is not a cause of problem. Problem is different. You are identifying the problem as different. So then Krishna asked, you should do the karma. You should do your prescribed duty, and duty gives the enjoyment. Because Arjuna's worried was there. So first question was answered here as a body and soul. Arjuna's compassion was for the body, and Krishna rejected that. He said, you are not the body, you are the soul. So you should not be having grief about the body. And then Arjuna's question was, how will I enjoy? He says, while performing your duty. When you don't perform your duty, it will become the cause of your distress. If we perform our duty very sincerely, there are sense of performing the duty, and then we feel very happy from inside. And then Krishna says, you perform your duty. Then Arjuna said, okay, performing duty, give me some reaction. If I do the duty, then it will give me some reaction. And Krishna says, yes, perform your duty, but you do detached with the reaction. So result. So you do your duty, and with then the higher knowledge Krishna gave, you do with the detachment. So Krishna spoke a little bit about Nishkam Karma Yoga there. And then he said, Arjuna says, what is the quality of the person? Krishna said, you should control your mind, you should control your senses, and you should be like a kurma, you should withdraw the senses and all these things. Then Arjuna said, what is the quality of the purpose who has a controlled mind? Can you give the description? How do I identify this person's mind and senses are controlled? Is there anybody like that? And then Krishna talks about the quality of the Sthita Pragya, liberated soul. This is how the second chapter. And so these are the some shloka of the soul. They know asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tatha dehantara prapte dhiras tatra namohyoti. I'm sure many of you are, I'm not keeping the track, but I'm sure many of you are joining to learn the shloka. So if you join on Tuesday, you will learn the shloka, how to recite this shloka. Some of the shloka, most of the shlokas are very beautiful and meaningful also. So when you learn it and you recite it, you will feel very nice. So the idea is that we teach the shloka in the classes, and then you can learn it by repetition again and again. And it is very nice to recite the shloka. The sound vibration is very like good, and it also gives us the frees the stress from our mind. So we should learn. So if Tuesday classes are going on, you all can join there. So then he says, as the embodied soul continuously passes into this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered. So Arjuna was bewildered by the death. These persons are going to die. I am not going to see them again. So Arjuna, Krishna says, this is the nature of the law. You cannot change. As the soul is continuously passing, we are all changing our body every day. When we were born, we were having different, we were looking different. Sometimes we see our picture of when we were 5-year-old, 10-year-old, 20-year-old. We see, oh, how much difference is there. Now I look different, completely different, because there's changes happening in the body, but the soul is same. So similarly, soul is in this body experiencing the change, and at the time of the death, the soul experiences a new change and it goes to the new body. Then he says, he talks about, I'm not going to read all the shloka because this will take a lot of time. So one of the shloka, so Krishna spoke about Arjuna, ki if you do not perform your duty, you will incur sin. He says, if I fight in the battle, all these people will be killed. So I'll incur sin. And Krishna says, if you do not perform your duty, you will incur hitva papam avapsasi. Tatha swadharmam kirtim cha. Agar you are not doing your fighting duty, then you will incur sin. So Krishna asked him to do. So then that is how the second chapter was over. Then the third chapter, Arjuna got confused because earlier Krishna said that you do sakama karma, do for by doing the duty, you will feel happy. And then Krishna says, no, you should be very detached. You should be very equal in the happiness and distress. You should work as a very detached manner. So Arjuna thought detached manner means that I should not be incurring any result. So Arjuna's intelligence was teaching him that no result means no work. If I do work, there is a result. So if I don't want any result, then I should not work also. So he was confused. Actually, Arjuna was not confused. Arjuna is, Krishna put Arjuna under illusion so that Arjuna can ask this question on our behalf. So all this question, what Arjuna is asking, these are our questions, which we have in the mind. So sometimes our little intelligence will not even know that what to ask question. But when we are reading Arjuna's question, then we know, oh, acha, okay, even I want to understand this. So Arjuna is asking question on our behalf. So he said, whether I should work or I should give up, you tell me one thing. He says, you don't tell me two things, you tell me one thing, whether I should work or I should renounce. Because if I work, I will work for the result. Because Arjuna knew working is only for the result. We all also know. Work means there has to be result. We are all goal-oriented, result-oriented, right? So goal-oriented, it's good. We have to have the goal in the life. Then only we will work something. But we should not be result-oriented. Goal should be there. For any goal, we have to work. But we should not be aspiring the result. Because that if we do the duty, like as a goal, we do take our responsibility, do duty. That is our duty we are performing. When we are aspiring for the result, with the result comes the reaction. So Arjuna was confused. Then Krishna says, both the people are good, those who are working for the knowledge or those who are working for detachment. But those who are working for the detachment are better, because giving up the things are without understanding, it is very hard. Unless and until you understand the process. Like you remember we had seen the pretender. Pretender means I superficially want to give everything, but the purification in the heart and mind is not there. Sometimes what happens, I understood, oh, I have to be detached. Okay, I will not do this. I'll go to some ashram and there go and meditate and all. So unless and it takes time for purification. We have so much desire to enjoy. So completely not having desire will not be in a day or two. There will be desire. So if we, without purifying those desires, if we stop working, then what will happen? It's like a force. Again, it will bounce back. As after some time, with some deviation, again those desire will come. And or otherwise, in the mind, we will dwell into that. I want to have this, I want to have this, I want to this, I want to do this. In the mind also there. How do the action? First it starts in the mind. And then we start acting on that. So without purification, Arjuna says, don't give up the work. So what do? So you work and give result to me. That is the best for you. So you start doing work and giving result to me. So when you are not working for the result, you have no karma. Because you are working for the result, there is a karma. So how do you work? If I don't desire for the result, as a matter of duty, because we all have been given some kind of responsibility and duty. So we have to play our role. We have a play, like we may have a role of father, mother, teacher, or wife, or husband, or anything. So all this is a responsibility given to us, and we have to play our role very sincerely. But expectation of the result should not be there, and you should do it as a matter of duty. It's a very high level. It will come slowly, slowly. So then Arjuna was taught by Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga, and then Krishna said you should do it as a action, as a sacrifice. Sacrifice means please the demigod. They will in return give you the things, and that is why the cycle will go on. You will work and you will give your result to some offer you some sacrifice, and with the sacrifice they will be pleased, and then they'll give you some result, and that is how the cycle will go on. So Arjuna said, no, but I do not have any desire. I do not want to work only because I have no desire also. Krishna says, even though you should work, to set an example for others. Because if you do not work, then people will follow you. You are in a position where everybody will follow you. You are a leader. And there we had learned that we are all leaders in some capacity. Maybe in the office, maybe at home, maybe in the school, maybe wherever. So if we do not do our sincere duty, people will look at us. Oh, you are not doing, why are you teaching me? First you do. So, and people, if we do something good, people will learn by seeing. So it always says that the leader is good, followers are good. That is what, even when there is a corruption in the society, we say the leader is good, there will be no corruption. If the leader is bad, corruption will be there. So Arjuna was asked to work as a certain example. And then Krishna also tells, even I work for the two setting. If I will not work, for me, there is no work in 3 planet. But even though I work to set an example, if I don't work, people will follow my path and they will be ruined. So Arjuna said, then, okay, fine. Now I've understood everything. But what is that force which forces not to do or do the wrong thing? I understood all this thing is there. I understood that I should do my duty very sincerely. I understood that I should set an example. But what is that force which is not letting me do all these things? So there is some force in me. And we all have some force which forces us to do the wrong thing, even though we know that this is wrong. The best example is that the New Year resolution we take in the 31st. That this year or 1st January, we will go to gym every single day. Morning only I'll get up, I'll go for walk, I'll go for run, I'll do thing, I'll keep my body very fit. But as soon as the alarm goes, we'll snooze and kal se, we'll go do it from tomorrow. That force is there which is not letting us do. It is said that if you do anything for 20 days or 22 days or something like, or for a month, then it becomes habit and practice. But those 30 days are really hard, initial. Most of people fail in 1 day, 2 days, 10 days, 20 days. If they can continue for some time, then it will become a habit and practice. But that time we become weak to our senses. We feel enjoyment, sleeping is more important, eating is what I want is more nice. Why should I be compromising in my eating, sleeping and all? And the result is that we unnecessarily fall sick or so many other complications comes. So Arjuna wanted to know what is that force? And Krishna says, Kama esha, Krodha esha, Rajoguna samudbhava. And then he says that that desire, Arjuna, the desire to enjoy is very forceful. And then he talk about the lust. If you remember, there are 3 degrees of lust. First, the fire is covered, smoke is covered with the, fire is covered with the smoke. And then second was the mirror is covered with the dust, and the womb in the embryo in the womb. So there are different degree of lust. So some lust is mild. So if you little bit try, some people are like determined. Somebody will force you, no, you go, let's go. Or for some, they will force themselves to do, and they will overcome. Some people are really, and some like they'll require little more force, and some people will be really lazy. How much ever you tell them, they will not hear. They will do whatever they like, whatever their mind say. Sometimes people say, I do what my mind say. I am the, what do I told last class also, Man ka Raja hu main, whatever my mind say. So you're not Man ka Raja, you are slave of the mind actually. Because you do not do what has to be done. You only do what your mind says. So when we only hear our mind, then we are controlled by the mind, and mind will is always take us to the, they never guide us, because mind is controlled by the intelligence and all those things Krishna spoke. So these degree of the lust, then Arjuna says, okay, how to control the lust? Krishna says, spiritual intelligence, spiritual knowledge. With the spiritual knowledge and intelligence, you can control your enemy lust. So lust was considered as an enemy. And you can understand when an enemy is living with me, what will happen? What is the nature of the enemy? Nature of the enemy is to destroy, right? Somehow or other, if somebody is my enemy, he will be always meditating that how can I be destroyed? So we have enemy within us. Mind, senses are the places to sit, and they're controlling, and those enemies are controlling my mind, controlling my senses. So their nature is to destroy us. Destroying means what? They will make us do which is not right, because it's like an enemy. Lust is the enemy. So then Arjuna wanted to overcome, because all the intelligent people will want to overcome those lusts. And then Krishna says, you can do with the knowledge. So here Krishna says, steady mind. Evam buddha param buddhva samsthatha bhyatmanam atmana jahi shatrum mahabaho kamarupen durasadam. Thus knowing oneself to be the transcendental to the material sense, mind and intelligence, O mighty Arjuna, one should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence. Because intelligence is above the mind. So with the daily, and how the spiritual intelligence becomes spiritual? With the spiritual knowledge. I had told last class, if you remember, intelligence is above the mind. But if intelligence is not properly situated, then it carries away with the mind. Mind pulls the intelligence also, and mind decides what is right, what is wrong. But if the Krishna says the same thing, if your intelligence is deliberate spiritual intelligence, if your intelligence is properly saturated with the spiritual knowledge, then you, by spiritual strength, you can conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. So there is no, people think that I can satisfy the lust, and then by satisfying, one day I will give up. No, it will not happen. People at the age of 80 also have so many lusty desires. So it will never be automatically good, unless and until we have to train them about right and wrong. And how we can do that? By spiritual intelligence and spiritual strength. So this spiritual strength and knowledge, what will help us to overcome the mind, is called the transcendental knowledge, Divyagyan. So now that is how we come to the chapter 4. Chapter 4 is about Divyagyan, transcendental knowledge. With the knowledge, we can control the intelligence, minds, we can overcome the lust. So Nishkam Karma, what Krishna was trying to teach us in the 3rd chapter, leads us to the Divyagyan, which means now with this knowledge, we try to do the activity with the knowledge, and we attain the Jnana. So here in this chapter, 1 to 4 shloka will be about the lineage of transcendental knowledge. So very important. This is a very important chapter. Actually. One of the very important chapter. Okay, I need knowledge. Where do I go to take knowledge? Can I take knowledge from anywhere, wherever I want? How to receive? What is the lineage coming for the knowledge? Like when we are trying to put our children to the school. So what do we see? How these schools are affiliated? Are they affiliated with the American board, Indian board, or when we are sending to the college, which university it is? It is a reputed university. Then we know that these are the proper place to send our children to receive the knowledge. So here also for transcendental knowledge, Krishna will give detail about the lineage. Then he says, divine nature of Lord Krishna's appearance. Why does Krishna come? Actually, Krishna comes in the form of knowledge. He comes to give the knowledge. He is giving this knowledge. So Krishna talks about why he comes. And then Krishna talks about creator and culmination of all the path. This much probably if we can cover today, it would be, we have good luck. I am doubting we can cover this much also. How much is, what is the time? Oh, already we have more than half time over. So let's see what all we can do. So what is knowledge? What is this knowledge? In this, we'll see how is it received? What is the transcendental knowledge? And so first we will know about the transcendental knowledge, then where to receive, how to receive, then how it leads to Nishkam Karma, how knowledge is helping me. Because we have understood now, till now, at least, that we have to do Nishkam Karma. Because if we are not doing Nishkam Karma, then all our actions are giving us some reaction. And the reaction means bondage. Bondage means we are receiving the fruits, good ka good, bad ka bad. So that is the very simple calculation. Good actions will give us the good reaction, bad action will give us the bad reaction. But both, for to enjoy the result of the good or bad both, we get a body. So sometimes we get the body as a human being, and sometimes we get the body as a bird, beast, or the animal, plant. There are 8.4 million species. So we transmigrate from one to another just to enjoy the results of our action. So some of the results takes us to the lower species. Some of the results takes us to the higher species. But every time we have to come into this cycle of birth and death. And every time, if I become a plant, maybe some plants are standing for 200 years, 500 years. I'll be as a plant for 500 years. I become mosquito, maybe my life is just for 12 hours. I'll die and again change to the next. So we have to keep changing. So that is the crux of the Bhagavad Gita. And all the problem is because, as you remember, I gave you the example that if I am getting again and again rashes on my face, the problem is not that my skin is bad. The problem is that my blood is impure and I'm suffering. The good doctor told that you purify the blood. So similarly, our problem of all these things, whenever I get the body, so many problems are there. Birth is there, painful. Death is there, painful. Old age is there. Disease is there. Then we have Adhi Daivik, Adhi Atmik, Adhi Bhautik. So there are 7 misery. Apart from our not having money, failing the exam, not getting success in my career, not liked by the people, these are similar some other problems, but basic problems are there. It categorized in 7 parts: Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, birth, death, old age, and disease. Anybody has and everybody has, whether I am rich, whether I am poor. All of us have this problem. Then there are 3 problems. Adhidavik. Adhidavik means natural disaster. Sometimes cyclone is there, sometimes excessive rain is there, sometimes drought is there, sometimes COVID is there. Nobody can avoid it. We all have to go through this, whether I'm rich or poor. Everybody got COVID. All the celebrities also got the COVID. It is not that they were saved. So all of us has to go through all those things. Then there is Adhyatmik. Adhyatmik means from my own body and mind. This hand is paining, my back is paining, and I have got some kind of disease in my spine. My blood sugar is high, my heart is not working properly. I have cholesterol. I have so many other, like hundreds and thousands of diseases. My body gives me the pain. Everybody's body gives the pain. What can we do? What is the solution for that? And then mind gives us a problem. I have everything fine, but some people are in depression because mind is not in a properly situated. People have so much nowadays. The research is saying physical problem is there already. The mental problem is overcoming the physical problem. People have their own mind is giving them. Why this people is thinking like this? I think he is trying to destroy me. I think he is trying to do this. Or I am lonely. Or nobody is liking me. Or nobody is loving me. So many problems with our own mind also. Nobody has to come and disturb. Our own body, mind is enough to disturb us. So that is there. Okay. Then there is Adi Bhautik. Adi Bhautik means by other living entity. So sometime other living entity means we have so many, since we are born, we are dealing with the living entity. So sometime my spouse give me the problem, sometime my children give the problem, sometime my neighbor gives the problem, sometime my maid servant gives me the problem, sometime my boss gives me the problem, sometime mosquito is giving. I'm nicely sitting in the garden and mosquito is coming and trying to disturb me every now and then, and I'm getting so irritable because it is giving me the problem. Or some flies are there in the house. Sometime you just keep throwing them out and they'll keep coming and zoo, 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 and we will be disturbed. So all these things from the other living entity. So this 7 problem is there for everyone. We cannot avoid it. So what is the solution if you want to, other than that, there are our problems like office mein work is not good and people are not good and the job is not good or whatever. Those are separate. So it categorized in the other living entity giving me the problem, mind is giving me the problem. So how do we overcome? We solve one problem, 10 are there in line. It's not that we are not trying to solve. We want to solve it. We are making an effort. But am I going to get rid of all this? Am I able to solve my problems? No, because we are carrying so much baggage of karma. And karma gives us these reactions. Nobody is responsible for me. Anything, any problem I am getting, I am responsible. Because it's my karma which is carrying forward to me in form of good, in form of bad. And I have unlimited karma stored because every action I am going is going to give me reaction. So I'm carrying and carrying and carrying bags and bags and loads of karma. And I have to, because they are now fructifying fruits. Fruit is called prarabdha. So when the karma gets matured, it comes in the form of fruits. I have to enjoy that fruit or suffer that fruit. If the fruit is sweet, it is nice. If the sometimes fruit is bitter, then I have to, because it's my fruit. So we have to go through all these things. So problem is not that I don't have money, I don't have this, I don't have this knowledge or whatever. But problem is that we are creating more and more karma. We are not stopping the results. So that's what Krishna is teaching. If you want to be happy, you stop. You do the duty and don't expect for the result. Offer the result to me. So you're not creating any more results now. So at some point of the time, if you're not creating, it will over, right? If you keep creating, it will never be over. Sometime we have to become this, sometime we have to become this. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiva. Guru Krishna Kripa Pai Bhakti Lata Vijay. Brahmanda Brahmite means in the whole planetary system, we are just like a roller coaster, sometime up, sometime down, sometime up, sometime down, and getting the result. So this is what Krishna is trying to teach us, that and because of that, we are so frustrated, so much anxiety is there in life, so much disturbance is there. We are not able to enjoy the life. So he says, this is how, if you practice, then you will be happy in the life. So he says, how to lead to Nishkam Karma and how this knowledge is born. This knowledge, why this knowledge is very authoritative, why I should be only reading Bhagavad Gita to become happy. You may ask this question. There are so many authors are writing the book to be happy in the life. They are also trying to teach us to be happy. So how Bhagavad Gita is making us happy? How we can prove that reading of Bhagavad Gita or knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is surely going to reduce our karma or surely going to release our distress or giving us a happy life. So this is what Krishna will teach in this life. Do you want to learn? Are you interested to know? Okay. So now we will go this knowledge, how this knowledge has come from. Whether this knowledge, see, any knowledge when we are receiving, first of all, we have to know whether this knowledge is authentic or not. If it is not authentic, then what is the use of that knowledge? We are wasting our time, right? Even when you are reading the newspaper, you all want to read the newspaper, which is authentic. There are so many, they just write gossip. People have no faith in them. Or when we are hearing the news also, we are trying to hear the news from a proper source. Because we think if we are not hearing from proper source, probably how much mixing will be there, we do not know. Maybe the news is 1 centimeter and they are putting it in 1 meter, adding and subtracting so many things. So we don't have faith. So why we want to, as an intelligent person, we don't want to waste our so many hundreds and thousands of channels are there. But we are very selective to go to and pick up the channel which is giving us authentic news, or reading the newspaper which gives us authentic news. So first of all, when you're receiving any knowledge, the important thing is where it is coming from. Is it authentic? Is it right? So Krishna is teaching the first thing in this, how this knowledge is good, how this knowledge is authentic, how this knowledge is going to change your life. So we'll see the lineage of the transcendental knowledge. So where this, the first shloka says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavanaham Avyayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manor Ikshvakave Abravit. So Krishna says, Imam Vivasvate Yogam. I gave this knowledge. To whom I gave this knowledge? To Sun God. The Sun God is very, very old. He's not today and tomorrow. Since time immemorial, we are seeing the sun. And when we see the sun, actually, we think sun is just the ball. Or maybe one orbit, or maybe one planet. Sorry, not orbit, one planet. But there is a Sun God. When you read the Vedic cosmology, it teaches that there is a God, that's Surya Narayan, whom you worship. You do not worship just a planet. We worship because there is a personified Devta living there. And he's called Surya Devta. Every morning we go and give the water to Surya Devta. We are not giving just water to some circular, like a disc. So there is a Sun God. So he says, first of all, I gave this knowledge to Sun, and Sun gave to Vivaswan. Sorry, Vivaswan was the name of the Sun, Sun God. And then he gave it to Manu. Manu is the first person created by the Brahmaji. Not first person actually, the initial who created the Manushya. We are the children of Manu, Manushya, Manu and Shatarupa. You have the Adam and Eve theory, and that is, I don't know where it comes from, but we know that Krishna, when Brahmaji wanted to do the creation, initially when he did some creation, they all became brahmachari. They said, we do not want to get into, because material world is entanglement. We do not want to go into the marriage and being entangled, because they were in the deep knowledge. Then he said, then he created, when Brahmaji was very stressed, what do? I have to do the creation. But these people are not ready to do. Narad was there, Kumaras were there, some sages were there. They were not ready to do all this creation word again, creation of this word. Then Brahmaji was thinking, and from the left side of the Brahma, there is a lady came out, and from the right side of the Brahma, a men came out, and they were the Manu and Shatrupa. And they came and folded hand and said, what we should do? And Brahmaji said, you people go and do the creation. And fill this earth and fill this planet with the people. All the creation, not only like human being, other. So fill this earth. So Manu is the initial. The Vivaswan gave it to Manu, and Manu gave to Ikshvaku. Anybody can tell us the Ikshvaku Vansha? Anything you know about Ikshvaku Vansha? Anything you remember by hearing Ikshvaku?
Rama was born in that.
Yes, yes. So we can understand how great this knowledge is. That these people, Vivaswan, who is the Sun God, then the Manu, then the Ikshvaku, they were receiving this imperishable knowledge. So Krishna says, the personality of Godhead said, Lord Sri Krishna, I instructed this imperishable knowledge, science of yoga. He says, that knowledge, science of yoga, to the Sun God, Vivaswan. And Vivaswan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and the Manu in turn instructed it to Ikshvaku. So where this knowledge is coming from? Krishna says, I instructed. The knowledge is coming from Lord himself. You will have some questions, and Krishna will answer. Arjuna also had those questions. So let's see what he says. So Sun God is the first disciple. Then the Manu, which is like 12 crores and 4 lakh year before Manu was there. So this knowledge is not like a today and tomorrow. It's an ancient knowledge, ancient science. It has been always there. Since the creation is happening, the sun is there and Manu is there. Since then, this knowledge is also there. So Arjuna will ask some question now. Then Ikshvaku, and then Arjuna. After Ikshvaku, this knowledge, Krishna says, I'm giving it to you again. So why this knowledge, when he was giving, Arjuna again become the recipient of this knowledge. Then he said, saintly king, great people. Why the saint? Krishna gave this knowledge to the kings. Knowledge is generally received by the Brahmanas. But why this saintly king was given this knowledge? Because this knowledge had to be applied. And the kings were there. They were it is their responsibility to spread the knowledge to the people, to their subjects, to their those who are living in the country, and provide this knowledge to them. So that is why this knowledge was given to them, because Krishna says whatever the great people will do, common man will follow. So I will give the knowledge to superior, and they will give in turns to the people around you, the people around them. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarashiyo vidu sakale nehamata yogo nashta parantapa. So here, till this, here the knowledge is like 20 lakhs, 5,000 years before. After that, this knowledge is given 5,000 years ago. So why this knowledge was again given? Krishna himself says, Sakale nehamata yogo nashta parantapa. In course of time of succession was broken, and therefore the science as it has appeared to be lost. The supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly king understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science it is appeared to be lost. So what is the way to receive the knowledge? This is very important to know. How do we receive the knowledge? So knowledge is receiving by, see, Krishna is giving to sun god is giving to Manu is giving to Ikshvaku, without making any correction and changes, as it is. But sometime when we start giving interpretation on our own, then it breaks, the chain breaks. And when the chain breaks, then authenticity of the knowledge also goes. So here Krishna is giving us the parampara, how these are the four parampara in this, our age, Kali Yuga. Lord Krishna gave knowledge to Brahma, he gave to Sri Lakshmi, Lord Shiva, and Kumaras. And Lord Brahma's Sampradaya, disciplic succession, comes to Madhvacharya, and Madhvacharya say, we come here down to us. Sri Lakshmi ji's Sampradaya is Ramanujacharya. We have South India mein Ramanujacharya Sampradaya, those who are preserving the knowledge of Bhakti Yoga, where their teachings. Then the Lord Shiva was the one of the another student, and from there Vishnu Swami comes, and the four Kumaras say Nimbarkacharya comes. So all these four acharyas are teaching us the Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means how to do Nishkam Karma Yoga, how to make use of this human life. So we are coming from, we as an ISKCON, we are coming is this Lord Brahma Madhva. So this is our Sampradaya. We are receiving knowledge from here. So this is the Krishna, then Brahmaji, then Narad, then our Acharyas teaching Srila Prabhupada, then we are all sitting here taking the knowledge of Srila Prabhupada, knowledge from Srila Prabhupada. So if all of them are following sincerely, the knowledge is preserved. If one of them also breaks the knowledge, then it gets destroyed. So Krishna says it is very important. Krishna will tell actually next. When Krishna has made such an elaborate education system, it is our duty to search an affiliated university, parampara, and find the right teacher. So when we have to receive the knowledge, we have to go in one of this parampara and try to learn from them. Unfortunately, fortunately, not much preaching is happening in other paramparas. It is not going to the people and public so much. But if you are fortunate enough to find someone in these paramparas whom you can learn the shastras, they can teach you also, then it's a proper way to learn. So these are the four universities, you can say, to learn the Vedic knowledge. Anything outside this, we should not learn from, because they are not authentic. They are independent. So we have to find out. So Krishna says, why you are giving this knowledge to me now? Why you think that I should be the recipient of this knowledge? Krishna says, Sa evyam maya tedya yoga prokta puranaha bhakto si me sakha cheti rahasyam etaduttamam. Sa evam pura maya tedya yoga prokta puratana. Puratana means it's a very old science, very old knowledge. It is not today and tomorrow. And I'm giving it to you because you are my devotee and friend. Therefore, you can understand the mystery of this science. Every rahasyam hi etad uttamam. So it's a rahasya. Everybody cannot understand it. Before understanding Bhagavad Gita, actually, we should know who is Krishna. Then only we will understand Bhagavad Gita. If we do not know who is Krishna, what is his position, then we will, anybody has given so many knowledges. Krishna was also one of the person. He also gave a big deal. But we should know who is Krishna. It's a very, very like a mysterious knowledge. And I'm giving it to you because you are my devotee. And that's how you become eligible to receive this knowledge. What do you mean by being devotee? Why Arjuna was very special? Because Arjuna had accepted him as a teacher. Arjuna was ready to follow the instructions very sincerely. And then the knowledge will work. What happens if I recipient does not have the mood to understand and recipient has the mood only to challenge? How much ever knowledge you give, it is not going to be helpful for them. Because he is always in mood of challenge. Why this, why not this, why this, why not? And these are the transcendental knowledge. These are first of all, this is on material knowledge. This is transcendental knowledge. It can be experienced. You become happy by doing this. How? When you practice only, right? Just by reading that, by doing Nishkam Karma, you become happy. No, you have to perform Nishkam Karma. How to perform Nishkam Karma? We have to learn under the guidance of a teacher to perform. And then we become happy. So we will experience this knowledge and then only we will develop the faith. So the people saying that I will find my own ways, that will not work. We have to find the way which is authentic and then practice. And then see whether it works for me or not. Because these are transcendental knowledge. It is not understood by the material senses. It is beyond the material senses. So Arjuna, that is why was special to receive this knowledge. So Arjuna had this question. I will land it here on this shloka probably. So Arjuna asked the question, oh my, I have a doubt that you are my contemporary. I can see you of my age and sun god is so old. So how do you give this knowledge? When did you give this knowledge to sun god? How is it possible? Because sun god is so old, you are telling, and you are like my age, and sun god is like 12 or like billion or million year old. How do you give this knowledge? When did you give this knowledge? When did you meet sun god? So Arjuna said, the sun god Vivaswan is senior by birth to you. How am to understand that in the beginning you instructed this science to him? How do I understand? This knowledge was first given to the sun god and that too by you. So Arjuna says, being a devotee of Krishna, Arjuna knew perfectly well that Krishna, although appeared as a son of Devaki on this earth, is the omniscient Supreme Lord. So Arjuna did not have this doubt. Arjuna is again asking question on our behalf. Arjuna actually wants to establish the truth about himself to the atheistic people. So Arjuna wanted to establish, when Krishna is telling, then people will believe, okay, Bhagavad Gita talks about this, and people will believe the story. So here says, spirituality is not blind faith. If necessary, question must be asked to the Guru. So it is not that Krishna said, I gave to Arjuna, said, okay, I understand, you gave it. You ask this question. How do I understand that sun god is so senior? How do I understand that it was given to him? Even Arjuna is inquiring from Krishna. So good questions are always welcome. Good question means anything related to what we are learning and understanding. It's always welcome, because then only we will have clarity in the mind. If the doubt is there, it will never help us to progress. It will always like stop our progress. So we should ask the question. So we'll stop it here, and now we'll see what Krishna is answering. Surprise for tomorrow. how Krishna answers this question. Hare Krishna. So, do you have any question?
Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Swami Narayan Parampara is not authorized. Any parampara which is formed after the, this Vedas and the scriptures are written, what and how we should accept it basically?
Yeah, these are the 4 parampara given by the Lord. For the Bhakti Yoga, these are the 4 schools. For the Gyan Yoga, there are another 4 schools probably. So they are the authorized people to transmit this knowledge.
Right.
And in that also, that is the reason Prabhupada, when he wrote the Bhagavad Gita, he said that Bhagavad Gita as it is, that we have no right to make any amendment. So we have no right to make any amendment. Amendment, see, a school textbook you don't like, so can you do any amendment in the school textbook? I don't feel it is nice. I don't think it is of any use. Let me change. There has to be some group of teachers, some authority, some commission will happen, sit there, and they discuss back and forth, and then they said, okay, we should add or subtract. When a common school syllabus we cannot change, how can we change Bhagavad Gita? So there in that field also there are some teachers, if they want. Actually, this knowledge is not like unchangeable because it is coming from Krishna. So there is no flaw in this knowledge. But when it is deviated from the principle, that time correction has to be done. Anything else? Anybody has? Okay, so see you all tomorrow again, same time, and we'll see what Krishna is answering about how he gave this knowledge to Arjuna, sun god.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So
Hare
now after Prabhupada, now how is the disciplic succession going to continue?
Prabhupada has given some, jo acharyas are there, they are the authority. So it is not one. Prabhupada ke baad the teaching is being now fixed. Now everybody is only following. Yes. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Even Prabhupada writing, there is sometimes we feel like something, maybe it is like, not we, some scholars, but we cannot do any change because we know that Prabhupada has written what is perfect. So we cannot change other than the spelling mistake if somewhere is there or any grammatical mistake is there, that we cannot do any changes. Because knowledge is, so that is the reason we don't want people also to comment unnecessarily without having any shastric reference.
Right. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, so I don't know anybody is here from Dubai right now in the class. So please come
Hare
tomorrow.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Come tomorrow. There is a program, you know.
Yeah, Mataji.
Are you coming?
माताजी वो थोड़ा रूपा को परसों स्कूल जाना है, थोड़ा एनुअल है और 2-3 दिन से बहुत बिजी है थोड़ा,
अरे बाबू, तो कल तो दिन में प्रोग्राम है, सुबह 10 बजे से 12-1 बजे 2 बजे तक।
तो अभी स्कूल गए थे, आज आए हैं, अभी आज भी गए थे, थोड़ा बहुत 3-4 दिन हो गया, काफी भागम भाग हो रही है इसलिए।
चलिए प्रभु, ये तो एक ही बार होएगा गौर पूर्णिमा, तो थोड़ा समय निकाल के आ सकते हैं तो आइए।
ठीक है माता जी। ओके माता जी, थैंक यू।
हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा।